Welcome to the new month, new series. Today we are starting with balancing the front and the back bodies. So when we speak of the front body, you may remember from previous sessions that we are mainly addressing the organs, so digestive system, heart, lungs, esophagus, trachea, and so on. And of course we have musculature in the front, just like we have musculature in the back, and it is not as if we don't want to work with the front body musculature. But in this session, and a lot of times when we kind of unite and integrate the front and the back, we are speaking about the back being the strong, the support, so that the front can be soft. And this is because far too often in our daily life, two things happen. One is that we sit a lot, and therefore the posterior legs and buttocks kind of like atrophy. So we want to activate them. We want to engage these muscles to discover the strength that we have there. And then as a compensation, a lot of times we tighten the front. So we tighten the belly, we tighten the throat. And we are hoping that with this balancing out of forces front and back, we can rely more on this back body musculature in order to be able to remain soft in the front. Because the front body is softer, is designed to be softer, yeah? The organ body, the organs of sensuality, the organs of digestion, of softness, of intimacy, yeah? These are areas that we want to be able to say, okay, now I'm letting go of all the pressure, of all the stress in here. So, while we're moving through the different postures and different practices, I would like you to come back again and again to the breath. I will also try to keep reminding you and to explore, is there any tightness in the front that is not needed for this task, for this movement, for this state that I'm in? And you might discover that, yeah, there is a way to soften from through the breath, through the sound, in some areas that were previously not accessible to you. At the same time, we are going to use some props especially for working with the back, because there will be some intensity there. And I would suggest a chair, couple of blankets, some blocks if you have at home, walls we're going to be using the wall. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to wait for you to get those, because afterwards we're going to go straight into the practice. So a chair, some blocks, some blankets. And our first sitting posture is going to be a little bit more elevated. So my recommendation would be Vajrasana, but then you have to think about what is accessible, what is easy for your body. So I'm sitting high up. I don't know if you can see. My knees are forward. Yeah. And my belly is completely loose. So the idea of this position, instead of cross-legged, is that you have a little bit of a downward slope in the legs. Yeah? Your pelvis is higher up than your knees are, so then this downward slope is doing a little bit of a pull on the belly and relaxing the organs. Okay, and then when you feel ready and settled, You can gently close your eyes and start to release the weight of the spine, the weight of the head as it floats downwards towards your sitting bones, towards the cushion that you are on. And then we're going to do this breath technique, so to speak, but it's breathing and visualizing. So you're going to imagine that the breath is starting in front of your nostrils, and then as you inhale, it is rising up the nostrils, going into the top of the head and beyond, like some space above the top of your head. That's where the inhale goes. And then the exhale drops down your spine, first down the middle, or the wherever you feel the middle back of the head, spine, down the body, towards the belly, towards the pelvis, and then it just disappears down into the floor underneath you. So then the next inhale comes from the nostrils up above your head, and exhale, releasing down. And once you have this visual, you can start to elongate and add the sound on the exhale. So the inhale comes the same from nostrils up, and then the exhale with the sound sh, like a shower from head to the pelvis, to the ground, and a few more times like that, centering yourself. And after your next exhale, just remember where you are, or you can open your eyes, see where you are, and notice how you're feeling. Is there any change that occurs after these long exhalations? And then we're going to touch the various areas of the front. So let's start with the face. Bring your hands to your face, and you will see that what you're covering are probably the eyes, the cheeks. Think about your senses, your sensory organs, which most of them are in the front, and how you are relaxing those. You can even relax your posture a little bit. And as the warmth of your hands perhaps meets the warmth of the skin of your face, or just the touch, if not the warmth, feel this connection and just relax a little bit. The features of your face, the muscles. You can still be inhaling with that visual and exhaling with the sound. Softening the identity that is always situated in our face, softening our roles, coming to the body itself. And you slide your hands down a little bit further. I like to cross my hands for holding of the throat, but you can also hold it like this. I find if I hold it like this, I exert too much pressure. So a gentle cross and supporting really the throat as it folds forward a little bit. And there I can inhale and softly either sh or you can start the hum. Yeah, explore what feels good for you. And then you slide again your hands. They could be now at the chest level, on either side of the sternum. Again, the heart and the lungs relax when they feel support. Yeah, so if your hands are offering support, then something inside this space can soften or widen. Yeah, it's always an individual experience, but let it be a real contact with yourself. And then slowly sliding your hands to your belly, creating a place of connection, and then very softly choosing your sound or being quiet in it, just giving yourself some recognition, yeah, that this practice is about you and that you are ready to support and offer kindness to yourself. We don't do this often enough, I think. And then when you feel ready, going further down, bladder, reproductive organs, lower parts of the intestines. Let yourself hold the organs in a way, and sometimes organs also respond to the holding, yeah? You feel some sensation, some change happening. Soft front body and some sound that contributes to the softness. All right, and then when you've had enough of that, you can slowly start to move in a circular direction. And again, this is to continue to feel the softness in the front body, but to bring it into some movement. And there is a pelvis, there is the base onto which you are almost like pouring the weight of the organs, blood, lymph, muscles, whatever exists in these frontal body cavities. And as you're pouring the weight, the body finds also its own places of where it can yield into gravity a little bit more. And this includes the throat and the face. So a lot of times when we go into the organs, we forget about this upper part, but try to include the softness of your throat. The facial muscles have released. And then you can switch to the other direction. It is not necessary that you follow one certain path. You can have different types of movements that you feel more comfortable with. And then at some point, can you start to shift your awareness to the back and think about what is the role of the back when I'm having my front body soft. So soft front body means a little bit of a folding of the shoulders, and therefore you might start to feel that your back is kind of broadening. And this is what happens embryonically as well. When we are an embryo, when we are just embryonic layers, the yolk sac, the front body starts to form, and then the amniotic cavity, the protection, comes from the back and literally hugs us. So we have that memory inside us that we can stay soft on the inside, on the front, because on the outside something is like a shelter, creates a shelter around us. And we're going to bring it now into a little bit more motion, so you can come out of the seated or out of the sitting posture, move your cushion to the side, and come onto all fours. You can also have a blanket underneath if you want for more softness. And then one of the things I notice in the students is a lot of rounding in the lower back, and that's oftentimes that protective mechanism that we want to suck the belly in. But instead, see if you can exhale the weight of the organs, the contents of your belly downwards towards the floor, and even open your mouth a little bit. So let your jaws be open. And in that way, the joint, the temporomandibular joint can relax, your tongue can relax, the skin of your face, the eyes, the forehead, let it all be soft in the front. And then go ahead and flex your feet, okay? So the feet are going to be flexed, and you're going to move deep into the hip hinge. So deep fold in the hips. And then keeping the front body soft, you're going to come a little bit more forward. My knees are open and my feet are very close to each other. And I'm going to go a few times back and forth. And maybe you will start to notice that when you're going forward, the back takes over and starts to round a bit. So you are engaging, you are energizing your back muscles by bringing them into this play. When you're going forward, a little bit like a propulsion comes from feet into the muscles of the back, and you move yourself forward. And notice that you can squeeze the belly there, but you can also choose to not have too much of the abdominal engagement. So go for that. Go for soft belly and engaged spine. Okay, and then from there, come and bring your legs forward. And then, so that would be the front of your mat, right? And then you're going to lie down on your back. And this is when we're going to start working more with the strength of the back. So we've softened the front, and now we're going to move more into strengthening of the back. Okay? If you have any questions, you can always unmute and ask me. All right, so the typical constructive rest position, feet are on the floor, knees are pointing upwards. And then I would like you to press the feet down, but don't lift the pelvis just yet, okay? Just feel what's happening in the backs of your legs as you start to lift the pelvis, but it's still connected to the floor. And then feel those muscles, how they're starting to engage, and exaggerate it. So even squeeze your buttocks, the backs of your legs a little bit more. And feel how this creates a fiery or warm feeling inside the backs of your legs. And keep breathing with it. So don't go to the level where it would cramp or where it would feel like it's a little bit too much, or where it constricts your breathing. And then release, and when you release, let the muscles really, really soften, belly spreads. So you have to know the opposite of engagement through non-engagement. Just really let it go. And inhale and slowly exhale. And then again, start to press the feet down into the floor. Engage the muscles of the legs. Engage the muscles of your buttocks. So squeeze them a bit purposefully. And then lift the pelvis halfway up. Stay there. Breathe. And try to breathe with the belly free. So the movement of your abdomen should be happening while the back muscles are really working. And then again, please release the back, release the muscles. You can also open your knees a little wider if that feels good. Just give yourself some space. Engagement is contraction, so when you're relaxing, you should be expanding. And then last time, the feet are ready. They start to press a little bit. You engage the buttocks, you engage the backs of your legs, and then you lift your legs so you're pushing equally through both feet, or however much equally you can. And then you lift the pelvis up. And now experience your own strength of the back, yeah? If you can enjoy it. So that means don't overdo it, but just go to the level that feels like, oh, look, I have these muscles. That's really good. And then when it feels like it's been enough, just bring the back down, relax again, feel how that softness spreads throughout your buttocks and of course throughout the belly. And now please bring the knees up. Just up towards your chest, and they stay open, okay? So I'm not closing the legs. There's as wide as your shoulders, okay? And then bring your hands, maybe you can also clasp your fingers like this, and start to sway your legs side to side a bit. Yeah, so they're going a little bit to one side, a little bit to the other side. Not nearly enough that you would fall to the side, so you still have this good balance there. And now start going more, and you're going to go all the way to the left, but bring the knees up high towards your chest so that when they land and one leg comes on top of the other, you have your knees leveled with your sternum, like they're really, really high up, almost like a child's pose, but on your side. That's it. Great. Yep. And then how do you get out of here? The upper leg first goes up, and then it picks up the other leg. Okay? Then you roll to the other side, keeping your knees close by, close to your chest, close to your face, and then up through the middle over to the other side. Now you are having your head rolling, and that's very good. That's what I want you to do. So at the same time that the pelvis moves, the head is also moving. There's no delay, let's say, in the neck. All right, now next time that you come onto your left, could you please elongate your right leg down the floor and lift yourself up into something like a pigeon pose, right? But both knees are bent. And then you go back down, the hands are in the air, you are on your shoulder, you roll to the other side, and then again, the upper leg, I have no space here, I hope you have more space than I do. So you're going to the side, the upper leg lengthens, and there you are, lifting yourself up a bit. And it takes some time to get a hang of it. And even when you do, sometimes it is less coordinated, sometimes more. I find with these rolls, it's most important to stay playful and not to think too much about any correct way of doing it. Excellent. Next time that you come to with your left leg down, so I mean with your left knee bent close to you, you're just going to roll on top of it. So instead of lifting up into the space above you, you're going to stay folded on top of your left leg. And if you can find some place for your head, for example, with a cushion or with your hands stacked on top of each other, in this position, your belly and your leg are in contact. So we are returning back to the front body softness and seeing how much of my abdomen can I surrender to gravity and let be supported by the leg. And And then when you're ready, please gently roll to the other side. And then when you find yourself on your right leg, rest your belly on top, or some part of your belly, yeah? Wherever you feel the connection between abdomen and the thigh, this is where the contents of your belly will flow towards. And if you don't feel the contact, then you can put a blanket between. Right, and then from here we're going to move again into the quadruped position. So bring the front leg back, and then you have again the all fours on the floor. And what we're exploring here is, let's start with the right leg. So there is a lift of the leg, and then we hold a bit, and then you're going, well, let's first do just that. So the lift of the leg, hold for a few breaths, and release. Then the other leg lifts up, straight back behind you, I mean, yeah? Your back is never straight, it's always curved. And bring it down. So now we want to establish the diagonal. So it's going to be the right leg and the left arm. And what we're doing with the left arm is we are training these muscles to coordinate. These are the lats, I believe, to coordinate with the glutes on the other side. And then release. Because this coordination is really crucial for balanced, integrated walking, running, and so on. So first we do this slowly, yeah? We lift the leg and the opposite arm. Second side. And now, if you still have the strength, if not, rest and come back to it. We need to do this a little faster, so it's like a jolt and down, a jolt and down, a jolt and down. Just because it's a different reaction, different muscular fibers when you need to do something very quickly rather than when you engage the muscle slowly. And we need both quick reactions and ability to move slowly and smoothly. All right, come to child's pose for some breath, relax. We're going to make our way to down dog for a stretch, for some breaths, and then we'll come back to all fours. So lengthen the arms, prepare by going back a little bit, and then lift up. I hope it feels pleasant for you now to stretch the backs of your legs, because after the engagement, they need their length, and feel free to pedal the legs to do that. All right, bring the knees to the floor. Okay, now this time the legs are coming together, so the knees and the ankles are joined. Feet are flexed, and the right leg shoots straight back behind you, left arm forward. And then we're going to bend the knee and reach with the hand for these two to touch, not staying there, releasing. So forward, finding the connection, and releasing. For now, yeah? Later on, we might hold, but for now, moving through. Two more times on each side. It's an opposite hand from the arm. So if it's your left hand, then it's your right leg, the opposite leg from the arm, so that you have the balance. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And one more on each side. All right, when you finish, come to your belly. So lie down with your elbows a little bit wider than the shoulders. Yes, and your head is going to stay low because otherwise it might be uncomfortable for your lower back. So the head is staying low. You're going to lift your right leg and cross it over to the left. So it's literally above the other leg. And you just hold there. And release. Lifting the left leg, crossing over. Coming back and release. Okay, so this crossing over is the beginning of a roll. So come a little bit higher up. And now sway side to side. So activate the movement of the pelvis. Pelvis rocking side to side. And then when you rock to the left, lift your right foot. But now the knee stays on the floor. So it's just the foot and down, foot and down. Yeah, and let your pelvis really move. So the pubic bone is not glued to the floor. Yeah, it's moving. Okay, and then in one of those times, when you reach with the foot, can you reach further? Touch the floor behind you. And come back. Reach further, touch. Yeah, so now the knee comes off the floor, the foot touches, and you come down. And then finally, in one of those next times, you come up to sitting. So the foot has guided you, and then you go back to your belly. So the foot lifts, it reaches back behind you. You support yourself to lift yourself up to the elbow or even all the way to your hand. Yep, perfect. And then the elbow has to come down to receive you again, and then you roll back. So this is a posteriorly led roll because your back body leads you into it rather than the front. And it's very good for mobility and overall coordination of the body parts, orientation in space, and so on. Okay, so enjoy one more time on each side. And then when you come back onto your elbows, we're going to lift the feet up. So take some more distance between your two knees. Yeah, the knees are wide and the feet are touching. And bring your chin to the floor or to your hands. And then very slowly start to push through your arms. There's a little bit of a lift in the chest. You can feel the engagement between the shoulder blades, base of the neck, top of the neck, and then come down. So breath, inhaling up, exhaling down, or the other way around, but let the breath be present in your movement. All right, and then open your arms, bring your hands more towards the shoulder level. And then again, here we have the lift, but now with the hands, you can modulate, and if you wish, you can lift yourself higher, feeling the lift more, traveling down the lower thoracic, lumbar spine, if you so choose to. Okay, so after the next one, bring your legs down. Let's push ourselves back again to child's pose. So that would be coming back to balance the work with the softness. Inhale, and then exhale all the effort out. And then prepare again to lift to down dog. So pedal a little bit just like you did before. And then bring your feet together. So the inner legs are close by or touching. And then you're going to lift the right foot towards your buttock first, and then the whole leg goes up. So in this position, you will feel there's a lot of engagement in the back of your leg. And the only thing we're going to add is a little bit of a crossing of the midline with that foot. Nothing else. So don't start to twist with your chest or anything. Just the leg goes up and the leg goes across. And then gently return it back to the center and to the floor. Pause for a moment, and then the left leg goes foot towards the buttock, knee up, and then crosses the midline just a bit. And then return it back to the midline, to the floor, and then walk forward. Root yourself well through the heels, relax the torso, the back of your neck especially. And then slowly rise up. All right, and then in the standing position, spend a few moments balancing between the front and the back of your feet. Yes, thank you for adjusting your camera so I can see more of you. So the front and the back of your feet as you sway a little bit forward, sway a little bit back. All right, now this one looks easy, but you will see that in the end it is not. I'm going to turn my side to you so that you can see. We're going to squat, and in this squat we have a deep hinge, okay? And then you look at your feet, and what I want you to put the weight on is the balls of your feet. So it is not the toes. I mean, yes, it's the toes, but it's not just the toes. This would be just the toes, yeah? But I'm actually on the balls, just under the bones of the toes that are just under the toes that you can see. And the heels are lifted, okay? So the heels are not touching the floor. They are about 1 centimeter or 2 away from the floor. And my spine is long. And the neck is continuation of the rest of the spine, so it's not here or somewhere else in a weird position. It's in a comfortable position. So that will be a preparatory position or a preparatory phase for what comes next. But before we go to the next, elongate your legs, release your spine, rest in Uttanasana for a moment. And now let's do it. So you're going to squat, you're going to come to the balls of your feet, and now the idea is that you engage the back, so the backs of your legs and your buttocks are working so much that it feels relatively easy to push into the floor and make a little jump. Yeah, so it's coming from the balls of your feet like a springing action up without tensing this front body. So try it again on the balls of your feet, push into the floor and do a little bit of a, yes, good, a jump up. All right, and then, nice. When you had your fun, just pause again for a moment, balancing front and back. I have to turn the heater off. All right, with your hands on your waist, we're going to do a little squat and then send the leg back. Okay, the torso comes forward and just bring it back to neutral. Yeah, so you're pushing the leg exactly like it's pushing through some substance, like through honey or something like that. Slowly pushing the leg back and then bringing it forward. So 3 times, let's say 3 times on each side. Okay. Yeah, very good. Now choose a leg. For me, it's going to be the right one. So I'm stepping back. It's on the floor, but the heel is off the floor. And the distance is a little bit like the one when we do the fold forward, okay? So Pursvottanasana or pyramid pose distance. And now take the attention to the back of your leg and squeeze it. So engage, you can feel with your muscles, with your hand, that your muscles are becoming firmer. You can engage them around the bone, yeah? And then with the muscles engaged, start to push the heel down towards the floor. So it's a condensed muscle, engaged muscle, that is lengthening. And release. Okay, so the other leg goes back, the heel is up in the air, squeezing the hamstring, the buttock, checking with my finger, is this muscle working? Once I got it working, I don't want to let go of the work, but with it engaged, I am going to start to make it longer. And I feel more tight on this side, so maybe my heel will not even come to the floor, but I can feel a stretch. And bring it back. And now you can bring in the chair. Okay, so the first one, the chair is really just for the balance, that you don't fall forward or backwards. And I'm gonna put it onto, my left hand is gonna hold the chair. Yeah, sorry, I didn't explain it well. So you're going to need a wall and the chair, and basically the position will look like this. So one of your legs is going to be on the wall and the other one on the floor, and you're going to be pushing into both of your legs. Now, how much of a bend? Maybe like this, yeah, not completely here, not very far away, but your knees, if you look at your knees, they have some distance of about 20 maybe centimeters. Okay, so I showed you, and now I'm going to turn to the wall. So one leg is on the wall. Yeah, I know, sorry, I'm showing all these different things. One leg is on the wall, and your hand is holding a chair, or two hands holding a chair. Now bend both of your knees, lean forward a little bit, and then push, isometrically push into both of your legs. One is going into the wall and the other one into the floor. And then release. So we're going to stay on the same side. If you didn't feel the butt engagement, that's usually because other muscles take over, because our butt muscles are not so used to working. So if that is your case, same leg again goes up, but this time before you start to push, squeeze the muscles of your bottom. So engage the gluteus muscles, lean forward, and then push. And breathe. And then you can relax your legs, soften again, come to a place of balance. And then we do the second side in both of these ways. So the first way, just as it comes to you, as your muscles automatically go into, when you push, whatever engages, engages. The bottom leg has to be bent a bit too, yeah? So try not to lock the knee, the standing knee. And release. Okay, very good. Not easy, right? And then to make it even harder, or to send it into a particular direction, engage the gluteus muscles when you place the leg up, and then keep them engaged when you push. And then release. All right, so now it comes the nicer part, the stretching part. You can place your hands on the chair, walk back, and choose how much of the length do you want to invite into your back legs. If you want less stretchy, then bend your knees. If you want more stretchy, then straighten them, elongate your arms, and so on. Now keep your hands on the chair, and I hope it's the one that is not going to move or slide away when you bring the weight forward. So make sure that it's not sliding, and then slowly bring your heels up, yeah, and then shift your weight forward until you feel that you are pressing the chair straight down, yeah, like you want to sit the chair even further into the floor. Stay there with your spine long. And then, so the heels are still off the floor as you go back. And then the last piece is heels coming to the floor. So we're slowly going to lift the heels up and let the wave be sent through your spine as you move yourself forward. And then the hands are pressing down for your pelvis to lift and move back, and then the heels come back down. So a few more times like that. You can choose a faster pace if you want, or you can go even slower, really up to you. And the next time that you come to, this is called a chair downward facing dog, yeah, because it has a same angle in the hips. Then bring your left foot forward. Come forward and bring your left foot forward and take your right leg back. So you have now a wide opening of the legs, but just not too wide, because we want both of the heels to be on the floor. Yeah, and then if you have left leg forward, you're gonna have your right hand underneath your face. So if you look down, your right hand is straight under your head, and then slowly start to rotate yourself to the left. Yeah, so you're going to be lifted, meaning your torso is like continuation of your leg. And once you have a rotation of the shoulders, if you wish, you can add the left arm extending up towards a corner of your ceiling or straight up. And with your next exhale, you're going to come forward. The legs are going to stay as they are, but see if you can bring your elbows to the chair. Maybe your head also rests here. Maybe you need to fold your hands like this for the head to rest, or put a block under your head. Improvise to be comfortable. And bring some breath into the front body, expanding the space of the heart and lungs, growing your belly. And then push the elbows into the floor to lift yourself, into the chair to lift yourself up. And you're going to bring your right leg under the chair and the left leg steps back. So you have a long spine, long legs, not locked legs, but still long, and your left hand underneath your head. And then slowly rotating to the right, whether staying here or lifting the right arm up. Choose also the position of the head. You can look straight down or to the side or even up towards the hand. And your next exhale brings you back to the front, elbows down, and long spine, resting head. Okay, when you're ready, start to come out of here. Now, I would suggest that we go into one more deep forward fold with legs wide, and then we will take some side bending there as well. So with wide legs, you can still use the chair in the beginning. And then if you feel like going further or deeper into the pose, you can then just go straight down towards the floor, finding there the blocks or the floor with your hands, with your elbows maybe. And connect with that wrapping around of the back. Expanding the back around the front, around the soft front. All right, and then from there, your right knee bends a little bit to facilitate the movement of the spine towards the leg. And if you want, you can grab a hold of the leg or just have a general direction of the spine in towards the right leg. Then moving towards the center, the left knee bends a little bit and the spine is slowly leaning towards the left. All right, and then come back to the center and the heels, toes, close. Then you're gonna lie down and bring your legs up on the chair. So the feet are gonna be somewhere in the middle of the seat of the chair, okay? And you can bring your torso and head down to the floor. Open your arms to the sides and then press the heels into the floor a few times. Your pelvis will go a little bit up, a little bit down when you release. You press, you lift the pelvis up a little bit. Just try it out to see that your feet are stable and they're not sliding away. Okay, once you have that, you can push the feet down and keep the pelvis up. Again, not to the level of cramping, yeah, but just to the good engagement of the posterior legs. And then release. And when you release, bring your whole shins on the chair so the full calf muscle can rest on the seat. Okay, we'll do that once more and then we rest the backs of the legs, all right? In the middle, feet are flexed. You slowly engage, you push down, keep here for a few breaths. And release, and full legs on the chair. And now you get to keep the left leg on the chair. You bring the right knee towards your chest. You interlace the fingers behind the leg and then long leg reaching through the heel. Once you feel the limitation, so it cannot go any further towards the head, move your hands further up and just stay there. The muscles will recuperate, become long again. If at some point you feel like reaching with your hands to your toes, you can also try that. Okay, and then the next movement is the half happy baby. So half because it's with one leg. So this leg that was up is now going down towards the floor. The knee is going towards the floor or towards your armpit, while the left leg stays still resting on the chair. Okay, and then the last one is that you put your right foot into the left groin. And then what you can do is stay here or reach with your right knee away from you, which means the right knee is reaching towards the seat of the chair. Then you get length in the adductors, in the inner thigh. Soft belly breathing. No holding of tension in the neck. And then let's switch sides. So the right leg is going to come to the chair, passively resting, and the left knee comes towards you. Then you slowly send the leg up. Trying out different heights for your hands. And from there you let go of the foot as the knee gently comes down towards the floor or towards your armpit. Then you find the foot again with your left hand and spend a few moments here. And then the foot leans towards the opposite groin and the left knee grows away from the hip. And then slowly come out of that one as well. You can roll to your side. Gently come on up, remove the chair. And then bring in some bolsters if you have, and a blanket. So we will do one restorative posture and then Shavasana. And this one is a twist and a fold. So I'm going to have a bolster. Alternatively, you will have some thickly rolled blankets or maybe a yoga mat wrapped into a blanket. We start by sitting in a hero pose in Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose. So you are on the heels. And then this bolster is to your, I'm going to say as it is for me, to my right. But then I first have to kind of like sit down. Okay, so I was here, this bolster is here, and I sit down and my hip is now touching the bolster. And then the next step is that I rotate, my legs stay like this, but I rotate forward. Then I have the blanket if I want to add sensation at the belly. And then as I rotate, I find the bolster and I turn the head in the same, okay? So be careful, same direction as the knees, not to the opposite direction. And then I can also, of course, play with this blanket a little bit to come closer or to embrace more of the organs. And this is the posture where I stay for 2 or 3 minutes. So it's a mild rotation of the spine and a gravity effect on the organs, and then you have this pressure from below and you can feel the breath in the belly as it's massaging the internal spaces and structures. And this is the time to soften both the back body and the front. And when you're ready, you can slowly make your way up with the help of your hands. And then find your way to the other side. You don't have to move the bolsters, just move yourself in the opposite direction. I'm gonna move so that I can still see you. Setting up, sitting at some distance away, and then sliding to sit down. And then the rotation of the spine, of the torso, and then releasing onto the bolster. So finding again, like always, the best way for you to feel comfortable. And then gentle breathing, the gentle wave of the breath washing through the organ body allowing and receiving the movements of prana, of cleansing and vital energy. And then for the last 4 minutes or so that we're going to go to Shavasana, I recommend creating support for your legs, especially the backs of your legs that you've worked with considerably today. So that would mean knees propped and ankles propped. The knees with a higher and the ankles with a lower bolster. And then if you wish, you can additionally make some elevation for the shoulder blades. So none of this is necessary, just what I would recommend for your last part of your practice. For all these muscles in the back to release better. once you have found your favorite position, you can allow yourself to really drop into it. And you might feel how the back body relaxes into the ground. So even though we have this idea of strong supportive back, we want it to be able to let go of work. And this is the time to really let go of any work in your shoulders, back of your neck, shoulder blades relaxing, lower back, buttocks, and the backs of your legs. Maybe there is a shimmering sensation as an echo of the previous hour of working with those muscles that you can simply enjoy as aliveness and vibration. But any effort is now surrendered to the pool of the earth. And you may wish to stay here and continue to rest and relax. Whereas if you're coming up, again, stay restful, relaxed, but just add a little bit of movement in some joints, in some muscles. And then without tensing too much, you can make your way upright if you choose to do that. And then once you're there, bring your hands together, connect them with your heart space, and check within yourself the balance between the front and the back and how they are in this mutually supportive state, a dialogue. And then feeling your body as a whole, as one being. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Thank you. Have a good rest of your evening.